Hello friends, you're watching Sean Benson on RockRemedy.com, and I'm here with Sync2C. We were chatting about songwriting and also coming from Ohio, moving out to the West Coast. That was 2001, right?
Yes.
And you ended up in Santa Barbara first?
Yes, see.
So talk to me about, I love Santa Barbara, it's a gorgeous city. What's it like to be up there as part of the music scene? I mean, was there a whole college thing going on? And yeah, I like the whistle, tell me more.
You know what, it's weird. I think when we first got up there, we were writing these dark, you know, scary math rock songs in Columbus. It's snowy and cold. Then we come to Santa Barbara and we're writing like these happy, jingly songs.
Right.
Like,
so it totally helped
beautiful.
put it in a different direction.
Yeah. I mean, you start getting into that mode, and I think at that point we started working with a guy that started developing our band and really kind of like, all right, do we really need this verse here? Do we really need 3 choruses? Blah blah blah.
So cool. So talk to me about that. You said you were working with a guy, like just someone who listened, and I mean, is this a producer or someone?
Yeah, kind of like a guy who develops bands.
Awesome.
And he was based in Santa Barbara at the time, but he worked with Plain White T's and a lot
this
of really
is Lauren
good bands.
Israel, who
correct,
and he produced your
our record. Yes.
Fantastic. And so that was a great process for you
Great.
guys.
Yeah, I mean, really helped focus us in that commercial light. As far as like thinking about how to put together a song.
So do you guys like sing "Hey There, Delilah" to get all tight before you go out on your tour?
Yeah.
Like this is. Well, I mean, I love that song, but it's also one of those things that just shows you commercially what you can.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. I'm really glad you had the experience. And then let's talk a bit about that. You guys have been cited by Music Connection as one of the top 100 unsigned bands. By MySpace, I believe, is the second best unsigned band. And I mean, that's some fantastic stuff. Is that a frustration for you guys that you're not signed, or is this something that's growing on its own and is becoming its own thing that's just as good?
Personally, I think like being signed or a signed band is such a ambiguous term these days. I mean, the music industry, obviously everyone knows, is kind of crazy, but I think for us it's more about just defining goals.
Right.
Like we want a song to get played on K-Rock, and we accomplished that. We want to get a song placed in a feature film, and we've done that. So it's like checking things off the list, more saying this getting signed is the end-all be-all to this.
So that's pretty cool. So when you guys are setting up that kind of list, I mean, are you thinking massive term, like we want to be doing Wembley, or are you going, what's our next foreseeable thing?
I don't know what you guys
try to take baby steps. I mean, we kind of take it one day at a time. Of course, we'd love to be a big successful band, and but doing major arenas and playing across the country all the time, and that's sort of our goal, and that's what we want to be doing. And and just be able to just write and have time to always be writing and being a musician all the time. So, which would be that's ultimately the goal. Like we don't need to be like cruising around in limos with bling bling and all that stuff.
What was the first song that you had sort of placed or that got used in something commercially like bigger than you guys, and then brought the next level of attention? What was that, and how did that go, and how did it feel?
I think we started to get a lot of early placements with like Speakers, which is kind of an immediate song.
Right.
You don't have to be a fan of the band; it just kind of sticks with you. So I think a lot of MTV Hills placements, and
Newport Harbor,
like a lot of those kind of things were like, oh wow, okay, well people are recognizing this song is being really placeable.
Well, and Dance on Sunset.
And Dance, of course.
Are you guys doing the Rebel
the
rock dance? The
Rebel
rock Rebel? Is that
Tark, I think, has got it down. Do you want to show it?
Tark, I would love to see the rock.
And then he'll rock the Cabbage Patch after that.
All right, well, you guys got to go YouTube Dance on Sunset and watch as that guy's explaining to the kids. It's great. I love that video. And what I love about it is, and I say this in total earnest, I mean, my favorite bands are all the bands that as a kid grab me in some way, and if I'm sitting there in my bedroom doing the rock Rebel, forget about it, man. So I just want to say congrats, because that really is like,
that's
a great
cool.
Song for
I understand what you're saying. Yeah, that's the same with me. When I was a kid, bands grabbed me back then, and those are the sort of the ones that stayed with me, through like, for some reason, when you grow up, you kind of have this affinity for those bands, and hopefully we can connect with a few people out there that way. I mean, in 1997, I wouldn't probably be doing these things but in 2010 almost, here we are almost in the teens. Like, there's no such thing as selling out anymore. Right. There really isn't, because like the only way to get your music heard basically is through any avenue that you can. Because no one just goes out to a club and goes, oh, these guys are awesome, I'm signing you guys, and everything's set, you're all good. Because that just doesn't happen anymore at all. So
right on. Well, we'll come back and we'll talk a lot more about that, because again, Hustle and Flow, Sync2C. This is Sean Benson on RockRemedy.com. there.